Chapter 2 of Mathematics in the Modern World, we have Mathematics as a Language. So, to start with, what is language? So, language is a systematic means of communicating ideas or feelings by the use of conventionalized signs, sounds, gestures, or marks having understood meanings, according to Merriam-Webster. If you find it difficult to understand mathematics, maybe because it feels like you're looking at Chinese characters. But if you can understand the language of mathematics, maybe you will find mathematics an easy. So, according to Dr. Burns, the language of mathematics makes it easy to express the kinds of thoughts that mathematicians like to express. It's because of these three characteristics of the mathematics language. First is we have precise. It's able to make very fine distinctions, meaning dili uso ang synonyms. The second characteristic is concise. It's able to say things briefly. Most of the time in mathematics, we use symbols. Third is we have powerful. It's able to express complex thoughts with relative ease because of these theorems. So here are some classifications of symbols. First is we have numbers. So these are mathematical objects used to count, quantify, or label. May pa sila na ay label. So we have these sets of numbers. First, we have real numbers denoted by R. We have rational numbers denoted by Q. We have irrational numbers denoted by Q prime. It's just the complement of rational numbers. Then we also have integers denoted by Z. And we also have lastly natural numbers denoted by N. So what are these numbers? How they differ? Okay, so we have here the real number system. Okay, so real number covers everything. So it includes irrational numbers. So these are also real numbers. Rational, integer, whole numbers, and natural. Tanan sila are all real numbers. Now, when we have rational numbers, okay, sulod sa rational numbers are integers, whole number, and natural. So all of these are rational, okay, because they can be expressed as fraction. On the other hand, irrational numbers are those numbers that cannot be expressed as fractions. So we have here pi, square root, negative, positive. You can also have decimals na dili ma-fraction. Okay. Then we have the integers. So integers are negative and positive. So kani mga negative numbers, 0 and whole numbers. Okay. Next is we have whole numbers. Whole numbers just includes 0 and then positive counting numbers. And then natural numbers are counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on up to infinity. Second group is we have operation symbols. Grade 1 or kinder, bago po na eskwela. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or exponents. It's the same with multiplication. Okay. The third is we have relation symbols. So, may pasimath na karelasyon. Okay. So, we have here greater than, okay, with that symbol. Less than or equal with that symbol. Equal, not equal, similar. Okay. Then approximately equal with this symbol. And then we have congruent. When we say congruent, it's the same shape and size. So like this too. Okay. Exactly the same. Tanan-tanan. So congruent. Duplicate. Okay. But when we say similar, same shape but not necessarily same size. So pareha nga triangle pero dili pareha og size. Okay? Usually in this case proportional sila. Okay? And then last we have approximately equal. Usually gamit ni Inyo, ambot ko na. Okay, next is we have approximately equal. So, close enough, not exactly equal, but just close enough. Okay, something na pwede na nimo ma-consider nga equal. So, 4.99999, pwede na siguro 5. Fourth is grouping symbols. So, you have parentheses, braces, and brackets. Okay. Fifth is we have variables. So, these are mga unknown. Kung dili na to sila ma-identify as a number, usually they are letters in the alphabet, capital or small letters. Set theory symbols, we have subset, union, intersection, element, not element, empty set. So, let's say for example, I have A, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I have B, 1, 2. Okay. When we say subset, meaning it is part of a bigger group. B is a subset of A. Next is we have union. Union is simply combining two sets. Let's say for example, I have set C. 3, 4. Okay. So if I'll have A union C, that would mean I'm going to combine the two sets. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you notice, wala na ako i-repeat ang common element, which is 3. Sara na siya ka 3. You don't have to repeat it. Okay? Next is we have the intersection. Intersection is a set of elements which are common between two sets. Let's say, for example, A intersection C. So, the common sa duha is 3. Pareho sila na ay 3, so 3. Okay? And then when we say element, meaning it belongs to the group. So, in this case, let's say 1 is an element of A, meaning there is 1 in set A. I can also say 2 is an element of A, or I can also say 2 is an element of B. Okay. Next is we have the not element, meaning does not belong to the group. So I could say that 3 is not an element of B, because there is no 3 here. There's no 3. 1 and 2 lang. Okay? And then we have empty set. Empty set is a set na walay elements. Next is we have logic symbols. So, implies, if then. Okay? It's conditional. Consequences. Okay? Next is we have equivalent, the same meaning. And then we have and when you combine two statements. And then we have the or. And then for all, that is applicable to all, universal. And then we have there exists. That would mean you can find at least one. Okay? And then you have the therefore. Conclusion. Tapulan kay sa math, no? Kaya instead of writing the whole word, therefore, tulo lang ka that. So, takatipid na ka ink. 8 is statistical symbols. Sample mean, which is average from the sample. You have population mean, which is the average from the population. Median, which is the middle score. Population standard deviation. And then we have the summation. And then we have the factorial. 5 factorial. If you can still remember, this is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So factorial is the product of all the numbers below it. So if you have 100 factorial, so you have 100 times 99. Since wala na space, tama times 2 times 1. Next, we have mathematical expressions and mathematical sentence. Because math nga is a language, so we also have these expressions and sentences. First, we have mathematical expressions. An expression is a mathematical analog of an English noun. So, equivalent to an English noun. Name, place. Okay? It is a correct arrangement of mathematical symbols used to represent a mathematical object of interest. Okay? So, this is an expression that does not state a complete thought. Okay, so we have examples: x plus 5, sine y. We can also have z, just one variable or any variable. Pwede 4w minus 1, or even just a number. Okay, you can see numbers, you can see variables. Okay, and then you can see operations. Kana lang. Okay, mathematical expressions composed of numbers, symbols, and operations. Okay, so what about sentence? So mathematical sentence is the analog of an English sentence. So it is a correct arrangement of mathematical symbols that expresses a complete thought. Okay, so if you see the difference of the example earlier, okay, from that to here, okay, if you notice, complete na to ang sentence from x plus 5 less than 0. Okay? Complete na siya. Na kay sin y equals 1. Or z is not equal to 2. Or 4w minus 1 greater than or equal to 5. Or 8 is an element of real numbers. So these are mathematical sentences. If you notice, you'll be able to see mga relation symbols like less than, equal, not equal, greater than. Okay, the same with element. Okay, so that is mathematical sentence. So we have two types of sentences. We have open sentence and closed sentence. When you say open sentence, it is a sentence that uses variables. Okay, so kung namin makita ang variables, it's open sentence. Thus, it is not known whether or not the mathematical sentence is true or false. So, we cannot determine if it's true or false. Then we have closed sentence. So, these are mathematical sentence that right away, we can say that it is true or false. So, lakay variable nga makita. Okay? So, let's say, for example, 8 is a prime number. So, this is a sentence and it is false. Since we can determine when that it is false, then it is a closed sentence. Second is we have 3 plus 5y equals 11. Since there is a variable here, then it is an open sentence. Okay, why open? Because we don't know the value of y. Sometimes it might be true, sometimes it might be false. Okay, 11 minus 5 equals 7 plus 2 equals 9. And that's not true. So this is a closed sentence that is false. Also false. 6 minus x equals 5. Open. Okay, we have a variable. The square root of 4x is 2. So this is also open because we have a variable x. Next, we have to translate phrases to mathematical expressions or sentences. Okay, so you take note of these keywords for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Take note on this one. Less than and subtracted from. They are very special. Okay. Then we have equals. So, usually mga linking verbs. Then, we have less than or equal, at most, not greater than. Then, we have greater than or equal, at least, not less than. Let's start with addition. the sum of a number and 5. So our keyword here is we have sum, add. Number. Wala, takabalo, unsa na siya nga number. 5. So I'm going to add a number and 5. But since I don't know the number, I'm going to let the number be x. Okay, and then 5. So these are the two. So when you translate this one, you have second example. A number more than 2 is 8. Another a number. So let's say, assume it to be y. More than. So this would indicate plus. Then we have this. So that would mean 2. Linking verb is equals. Have the 8. Next example. So the sum of two consecutive integers is 15. So you have here another sum. So we're going to plus. Consecutive integers. So what are consecutive integers? So kung sa Bisaya pa, magsunod ni number. Say for example, 1 and 2. Pwede sad si 2 and 3. Pwede sad si 3 and 4. I'm going to let x be my first number. So, kung x akong first number, kung 1, gin sa ito para makuha si 2. Kung 2, gin sa ito para makuha si 3. So, we simply add 1. So, kung first number is x, my second number is x plus 1. So, this is now my second number. Okay? Dili ka mag-ingon og kani ako x, ang isa kay y. Why? Di ba ta sure masunod gyud na sila duha. Okay? Unlike ani, okay, sure ka nga kung muna yung number, ang next, ang second number na to is consecutive niya. Okay? Then we have the is, which indicate equals, and then we have 15. So when we write the formula of this, we have first number, x plus 1 equals 15. Okay. Take note also of even numbers and odd numbers. Okay. When you have even numbers, you have 2, 4, 6, 8. So in this case, you have x plus 2, x plus 4, and so on. The same with odd. Okay. You have 1, 3, 5, 7, so on. So if your first odd is x, use mo para makuha ang next. Plus 2 lang yapon. So you have x plus 2, x plus 4, and so on. Okay. Now, okay, walay problema. When it comes to addition, you have no problem with the order kinsay mauna o kinsay ikaduha nimo i-add. Okay? When it comes to subtraction, you have to be careful because dili siya pwede mabali. Dili siya pwede bali na 3 minus 5 is different when you have 5 minus 3. Because when you have this, you have negative 2. You have this, positive 2. They are different. Okay? So, you have to be careful with subtraction. Okay? Now, let's have the first example. The difference of two numbers is 7. Now, the keyword for the subtraction here is different. So, that's why we know that we're going to minus them. When you have two numbers, wala mo siya nag-indicate kung unsa. So, wala po siya nag-ingon nga consecutive sila. So, I can use x and y. By the way, you can use any variables. You can use n or m. Okay? Then you have is, which is your equal, and then 7. Okay? If it's like this, the difference, you just follow the order how the numbers are presented. So I can have x minus y equals 7. The difference of a number and 4 is 7. Okay? The same Japanese case, difference, so that's minus. We don't know this number, so I'm going to use n. And then I have here 4. This one is your equal, and then you have 7. So, pag difference, you follow this order. So, I have n minus 4 equals 7. Okay. But, if it's like this, the difference, minus, nauna mention si 4. And a number. And then you have the is, which is the equal 7. So, in this case, you have to write it as 4 minus n equals 7. Okay? So, you have to be careful with the arrangement. Okay? Next, we have this. Less than, is less than. Okay? Now, subtraction. 4 less a number. So, you have 4. So, less would indicate minus. Then, we have this number, say, z is equals 7. So, when you write this one, you have 4 minus z equals 7. Take note of this less than. Okay? Almost the same. Nakay 4. Nakay number is 7. Okay? But when it comes to less than, when you rewrite this one, ma-interchange ang position nilang duha. Okay? So, your formula kay less than ang gigamit, you'll have z minus 4 equals 7. The same meaning yapon siya when you have the subtracted from. Same siya meaning sa subtracted from. So, pabali. So, si 4 ang imuhang subtrahend. Okay? Mura pod ni siya ang time na ma-interchange sila. As for the rest of the mga keywords, or it will follow the arrangement of how the numbers and symbols are stated in the statement. Okay? Is a less than or subtracted from. Okay? So the third one is the difference of 4 and a number is less than. So nanay is less than. Pag indani gani, that would mean it's that symbol. Okay? So the difference, so here we have the minus, we have 4, and the number z is less than 7. So when you write the symbol here, you have 4 minus z less than 7. So that would be your answer. Next, we have multiplication and division. Okay? Twice a number more than 6. So, see, twice would indicate 2. A number, we don't know, so let's say x. More than indicates plus, and then we have 6. So, that would mean you have 2x plus 6. Next is we have thrice the sum. Thrice, this one would indicate plus, okay, of two numbers. So let's say I have A and B. Since I'm going to thrice the sum, okay, thrice the sum, that would mean I'm going to add first this 2. Okay, so I will have A plus B. So that's the sum, then times 3. So that would be my answer. Next, a quarter of a number. A quarter. So, 1/4. Okay? A quarter is 1/4. A number, we don't know the number, let's say n. Less than. Hello. Take note of less than. Indicates minus, but with the twist. And then we have 9. Okay? A quarter of a number less than 9. So that would mean ma-interchange, no? Ma-interchange ilang position. So instead of I'm going to start with a quarter of a number, I'm going to start with 9. 9 minus a quarter of a number. That's it. Okay. So I think that's the end of chapter 2.1, the first part. Okay. So if you have questions and clarifications, message me anytime. Okay. So for the next video, I'm going to discuss the 4 basic concepts: sets, relation, functions, and binary operation. The end.